What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. And as you can see from the thumbnail and the title, I did say the most unhinged action star ever. And to me, Tom Cruise perfectly fits that. Now to make things clear, since during my last video when I pretty much exposed Quentin Tarantino for absolutely just being an absolute weirdo, that a lot of people in the comments gave me a lot of crap for it. And I just want to come out and say that this isn't an attack on anybody, okay? Like Tom Cruise, for example, that I'm about to talk about. I just want to say I'm not saying Tom Cruise is like a Quentin Tarantino or a Jared Leto or The Rock. Like Tom Cruise is a different breed of professionalism. Well, yeah, he's a different type because when you look at Tom Cruise, he doesn't seem to be the type of guy that would be a weirdo or anything like that. And I just want to also make this clear that I really like Tom Cruise as an action star, as an actor. Like, I like a lot of his movies, such as Tropic Thunder, Eyes Wide Shut, A Few Good Men, Top Gun, Mission Impossible, and many, 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 many others, right? So I'm a pretty huge Tom Cruise fan, right? And the one thing you gotta realize about Tom Cruise is that it's pretty much no secret that he is like one of the biggest supporters of Scientology, right? Because Scientology, which let's just be honest, is a cult. I don't care what really you guys say. It's pretty much a cult. Some people might label it as something else, but it's pretty much a cult. But the biggest thing is that to make this clear, before Tom Cruise joined Scientology or even became a huge action star, he pretty much didn't grow up in the best circumstances to where his father was very abusive towards him or whatever. And pretty much for his whole life, he never had a proper father figure, essentially, right? Um, and I guess a lot of that heavily affected him in his adulthood to where he's a relatively small guy, like he's 5'7", right? Compared to me, which I'm like he's pretty much he's around like my parents' height, man. Like this dude's like a short guy, right? So that definitely didn't help that he was pretty much seen as the shortest guy in the room, essentially. Um, and he during after Top Gun, he met his first girlfriend or wife or whatever that pretty much convinced him to join Scientology. To where he met the leader of Scientology at the time, who's still the leader to this day, to where this cult, treated him like royalty. Like the cult leader was essentially a father figure, essentially, to where they gave him all he wanted, they respected him, all of that. But there have been alleged sus ties surrounding Tom Cruise and Scientology, right? To where Tom Cruise um went on to marry like his second wife, that being Nicole Kidman, to where because of his relationships with Scientology and how Scientology's been involved in a lot of suspicious stuff, which I'll maybe make a whole video about Scientology, you know. Um, yeah, Tom Cruise, because of his association with Scientology, Nicole Kidman essentially left him, right, and her kids with him, to where he pretty much chose the cult over her, essentially, to where according to many many people he pretty much became a completely different person after he joined the group, which has led to many people speculating that he may have been the real life American Psycho, aka Patrick Bateman, to where Christian Bale came into an interview and pretty much admitted how Tom Cruise is kind of the biggest inspiration. And if you look at his interviews after post divorce of Nicole Kidman, dude, Tom Cruise anytime he talks about Scientology sounds like the most unhinged and insane man I've ever heard in my life. And that's kind of makes Tom Cruise kind of scary, man. It's 1 minute that dude acts completely normal, and then the next he's acting like a complete and utter lunatic. To where there was this one interview he did with Letterman or whatever, where he was practically joking how he killed, almost committed attempted manslaughter or whatever, and he was laughing about it, and David Letterman in the interview looked very that face. And he also kind of talked back towards this one reporter, listen, put your manners back in now. This dude was legitimately intimidating towards this dude now, which I don't blame him in that sense. He also did an interview with Matt Lauer where he talked about Big Pharma and all that, and how it's some antidepressants is I guess not good for you or whatever. I would agree Big Pharma is kind of sus. Man, I can't believe I just said it. There's a lot of suspicious things about Big Pharma that I do agree with, but it's dude, the way he went about his opinions in that interview was just unhinged. And probably the most infamous interview being the interview that Scientology doesn't want anyone to see, which is Tom Cruise pretty much acting like a complete and utter just unhinged person, crazy guy for 9 minutes straight, essentially. Okay, I might, and if you're wondering if you want to watch the interviews, but because of copyright reasons I can't show them here, so I'm most likely going to link them into the description down below, so keep an eye out because I might add it in there, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, this dude also had a third wife, that being Katie Holmes, who, because she didn't like the cult that much, she decided any rational, normal person should be acting in that situation, is get up out of there with her daughter. And because she left the cult, Tom Cruise has pretty much never met his daughter for years because of it, to where he essentially avoids her, and it's just really, really suspicious of the way he was acting, right? And then there was obviously the infamous couch thing, which, clearly, 2000s Tom Cruise clearly was really, really, unhinged after his divorce, to where he also, there was also some rumors from Seth Rogen who accused Tom Cruise of allegedly recruiting other celebrities into Scientology, which is kind of nuts. And if you look at any Tom Cruise interview now, I think because his PR team was like, dude, you need to stop acting like that, and he did, and he ultimately stopped doing it. To where now you won't really see him act like this really anymore, really, mostly because he probably prevents people from talking about Scientology. Pretty much, Tom Cruise would probably be the last guy you want to interview, because whatever you do not bring up Scientology in front of this guy, or else he's going to act like a freaking lunatic. He also, recently tried to marry Ana de Armas or whatever, who was, a very famous actress. And allegedly, he apparently tried to get her to, join Scientology or whatever. He was probably listen, man, listen, girl, if you want to join me, you gotta join Scientology. like that's how I picture him just acting, you know. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts on why I think Tom Cruise is probably the most unhinged action star. But keep in mind, this is no like discrimination against him. All I'm doing is pointing out all the shady stuff he used to do in the past, right? To where I like Tom Cruise, and that's that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a very great rest of your day. And I hope you guys stay tuned because I might be doing more videos pretty soon. And I'll see you guys in the next one.